This is SpaceCoastDaily.com here with Michael Hartman. He's a candidate for Brevard County Commission District 2 in Merritt Island. We're here to talk about his candidacy. Mr. Hartman, could you tell us why you're running for this office?
Well, I'll tell you why I'm running, because I've been a businessman and a citizen all my life. And as a developer over the last 20 years, I interact every day with local bureaucrats, county bureaucrats, state bureaucrats, and politicians at all those levels. And over the last 20 years, while I've met a number of good people in government, in general, I just feel that they have forgotten that they are supposed to be public servants. I really think they've forgotten that. And looking around, where it started was in other counties, but then I started to look at what we have here, and I've seen some disturbing things. A month and a half ago, if you go back and look at one of the county commission meetings, a citizen got up to express their concerns about the Miracle City Mall loan. And after that citizen got done, one of our county commissioners looked at that citizen and said, "Why are you wasting my time?" That is just totally unacceptable. The people on the commission and the staff have to remember, we the people are their bosses. We the people employ them. And if they can't remember that, then they do not deserve to be public servants any longer. And just looking at that, and then also with public comment being moved to the back of the agenda, I just see where we're going from a group of public servants to a group of public dictators, and that needs to change. And if I get in there, I promise you, I'll remember that I'm a citizen, and the citizens are the people who run the government, and it's up to us to serve the people, and that's what I want to do.
Could you tell us a little more about your background with Brevard County and what part of the county you reside in?
Yeah, my in-laws retired to Cape Canaveral in 1989, and my wife started coming down to visit them. We fell in love with Brevard County. They were boaters, and we used to go out on the Indian and Banana rivers boating. I used to go fishing off the beach. And we just fell in love with the area, and I was practicing with a CPA firm at the time, and we had a client in Cape Canaveral. We lived in Maryland, and I came down in January of 1993 as the outside accountant, and while I was here, the company offered me the position of Chief Operating Officer, which I accepted after I talked with my wife, and so we moved here in July of '93. We've lived here now 20 years. We lived 4 years in Rockledge and Orange Woods, and then we were lucky enough to get a house on a canal in Diana Shores in Merritt Island in 1997. My wife and I have been boaters all of our lives, and we love the water. It's sad today, the shape of the lagoon. We went through this when we were in Maryland with the Chesapeake Bay, and we're going to have to take a lot of steps to get it cleaned. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a 10 to 20 year process, but I don't think we need a lot more studies. I think we need to start doing. Let's take some actions. I'm sorry, to me, inaction is what kills things. Even if things don't work out the first time, take some action. If plan A doesn't work, go to plan B. But we've got to do something, not just study it, not just talk about it. We know the muck is bad. We know that we need to replant the seagrass. We know that we need more oysters. We don't need to study that for another 5 years. Let's take the 20, 30 million, whatever they want to spend on studies, and let's spend it on actually doing something to clean the lagoon up. So, my daughter grew up here, and now she's going to college out of state. We love the area, and I can't see living anywhere else. I've had opportunities probably 4 times in the last 10 years to move elsewhere, and every time I've turned them down because my wife and I love what we have here, and I don't think you can find it anywhere else.
And we've talked about the lagoon. Obviously, there are other issues in the county. What would you say are some of your top concerns or top issues that you would want to address if given the privilege to be county commissioner?
If the people elect me, my top concern is the budget and the amount of taxes that people pay. I started looking at the budget back in a decade ago when prices were rising. And a lot of people didn't notice the fact that the county commission was raising the budget 10 to 12% a year because property rates were going up so quick that our individual tax bills were staying the same or going down because they were dropping the rate that the individual people paid. So nobody really noticed it, but our budget ballooned tremendously. It went up like 50% in 4 years. And it needs to go on a diet. You know, everybody else is struggling. We're all trying to make ends meet. And as individual citizens, when we have less money, what do? We spend less money. What has this county commission done for the last 4 years? They don't cut their expenses. They raise our taxes. Our tax rate is way too high. There is no reason why we can't do a department by department budget review. And that's what I intend to do if I'm elected. What you do is you start what's called zero-based budgeting. Every year, every department starts zero. And then you justify why the county people need your services that your department provides. And then that way, you cut down on the amount of government. If we cut down on the amount of government, all the businesses and all the citizens pay less taxes. And that's going to generate jobs in 2 ways. Number one, the business owners are going to have more money in their pocket. That means they can expand their payroll, they can expand their capital needs, and so they're going to create jobs. The second thing is if people have more money in their pocket, they're going to be able to spend more money, and that's going to generate new jobs. You know, so cutting taxes and giving the people back more of their money, I think, is going to do a better job of helping our county in the long run than by giving, quote, strategic tax cuts to certain businesses. Why is one business more important than the other? Do you realize there's 20,000 people employed by the hotels in this county? Are they any less deserving of a tax break than a manufacturing company? I don't think so. I think everybody deserves a tax break. So that is going to be my main focus. The other thing that goes hand in hand with that is cutting regulation. As a developer, I've seen over-regulation in all of its forms, and that kills jobs also. So we need to get the government out of the way and let people go to work, because if we're not impeding them, people on their own will create jobs, and that's what I intend to do if I'm lucky enough to be elected.
Okay, great. So what would you say separates you from the other candidates in this somewhat crowded Republican primary?
Well, all the candidates are good people, but I hear a lot of people who want to study things, a lot of people who want to think about things. I'm a doer and a fighter. That's what I am. I'm a person who wants to take action, okay? And you are not going to be right all the time. If you're right all the time, we're missing opportunities. But you need to be batting in the high 900s. You know, you're going to have an occasional mess up. Everybody is. But if you don't have that occasional oops, you're missing opportunities. At the county level, we're missing opportunities. 4.5 years ago, I got appointed to the board of the County Housing Authority and was elected chairman by my fellow board members. We had a problem. We were one step short of being bankrupt. So what did we do? We took our collective business knowledge and applied it. And we didn't just study it, we did it. We took the position that we're going to move ahead, item by item, going down a list until we get things straightened out. And we've done that. Today, that department has $2 million in the bank. It's on a firm footing. And you know how we got there? We went on an austerity program. When I got there, we had 83 employees. Today, we have 49 employees, and yet we're providing more services than we were when I got there. So it can be done, and if you do that department by department through our whole county, I believe, and my goal is to cut everybody's property tax rate by 20% over the first term if I'm lucky enough to be elected. But that's where I'm different. I'm a doer and a fighter, and I'm going to fight every day for the people of this county.